Hi everybody, this is Spring with Soaps and Suds and Such, and what I am fixing to make is watermelon rind preserves. Kind of like a marmalade in a way. What brought this about? Normally I wouldn't make it this early, but my little girl's sick and she's been wanting watermelon. So if you buy watermelon, don't waste your rind. Use it. And what I'm doing, I've already peeled it, as you can see. I try to get off as much of the pink or red as I can. Like right there, I've got a little bit, but that's not major, so I won't worry with that. And after you cut off all of your watermelon and peel it, and peeling it, you can use one of these, a cheese peeler, or cheese cutter, but I don't prefer that. You can use a potato peeler. I don't prefer that. I'm more partial to a butcher knife. And I don't know, something about peeling watermelon or cutting watermelon, I have to use a butcher knife. But I also wanted to show you my son made me a new column for pouring. And it's a star. And I absolutely love it. And I'm going to use that very soon, I hope. But that should pour really good. That's in order to get a good swirl. So I am so hopeful that it will. And what I'm doing with this is I am going to cut it up into little, I like mine small, so I'm going to be cutting it up into little tiny chunks. Some people do it bigger. I like it small, so mine will be small. And what I will be doing is cutting this up into the little tiny chunks. Then I'm going to measure it. And I usually do mine, well, a good rule of thumb is, like, if you have, say, 6 cups of cut up watermelon rind, then use like 3 cups of sugar. I mean, you can use a little more or a little bit less, but that's usually the way I do it. Is I just do half of the number, and I've been told that a lot of people do it that way. So that's how I do it. And my white clover jelly turned out very pretty. It turned out really good, and they all sealed. Still have to decorate the tops, but I'm behind on that, so that'll be another day. And I ended out with so far 4 of the Itch Away soap balls, and I will finish cutting this into little chunks, and then I'm going to pour, after I measure it and put it back into my bigger pot, I will be pouring my sugar on top. And I let mine set. Some people let it set for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. I let mine set with the sugar on top of it overnight before I move to the next step. And what that does is that sugar, as it melts, it's going to draw all the sweetness and, you know, the flavors out of the watermelon rind. And that's what you want. So it's going to end up turning into like a liquid. And then we'll go from there tomorrow, after I let this sit overnight. And I'll get back to cutting right now. So I'll catch you whenever I get ready to move forward. Okay, I thought I'd bring you back and show you my watermelon. And this is it. So I like mine cut up really small. Some people like it chunked larger than this, but I don't. And I ended up with 15 cups. So that's quite a bit. And I'm going to be adding 7.5, if you can see this, cups of organic sugar. And I'm just going to pour that right on top of there, like so. And then I'm going to cover this and I'm going to let it sit. I'll pour the rest of that in a minute, but I'm going to let that sit overnight, and I will bring you back tomorrow and show you how I make my watermelon rind preserves. Now, I also received my beveler and planer and soap mold today, and I may bring you back and show you how that works right here in a few minutes. Okay, I brought you back to show you. After I poured my sugar on, I did take my long wooden spoon and I did stir it around so the sugar's in there. I don't just leave it on top of mine. I kind of stir it around and get it incorporated a little bit. But I wanted to show you that so you wouldn't think I just left it just piled up on top of it. Now I'll be right back to show you my beveler, planer, and my soap stamp. Okay, I said I'd bring you back to show you my beveler and planer, and I got this from Etsy, and I like it. I think that it shaped my soaps really well and beveled them nicely, the corners. You can see that, and there is my stamp. Where I stamped it, it beveled the bottom really good. I like that. And right here's my stamp. So I think that looks really good. I'm really happy with it. Oh, you can see it better this way. See my tree. So I'm really happy with it. And this is like what your scraps that'll be underneath it. And then you can take that and make a ball or whatever you want to. But I thought I'd show you that, and I will put a link to him on this video. And if you want a planer and a beveler, it's the way to go. I mean, you have no blade to have to worry about the rust, and it works good. So I'm really tickled with it, and I'll be mentioning it to whoever asks me about it and put a link. So if you need one, check him out. He's on Etsy. And very, very nice. And I mean, he went out of his way about my stamp because I had sent him the little PDF of my stamp, and I wanted my letters redone a little bit, a different way, and he actually done that and got them in a good position so that they would look better. If you can see them right there, it's hard to see them, but it's S and the N and the S and the S for soaps and suds and such. But there, now you can see them. But I think it turned out good. And I'll put a link for you. Good night. Hi everybody, it's Spring with Soaps and Suds and such. And my watermelon rind has, as you can see, got the juices in it now, where I put the sugar on top. And I used 15 cups of watermelon rind and 7.5 cups of organic sugar. And I just mixed that in there and let it sit overnight, and as you can see, it has brought out the juices in the pot beautifully. So now I'm going to be cutting this on low, and I'm going to add to this, let me find me a spoon. I'm going to add to this, if you can see, I have here 3 sliced lemons, and I tried to slice them as thin as I possibly could. And I like to use the whole lemon because you know, it's good for you, and then it works well that way. I did slice mine in littler pieces because that's the way I like it. I did my watermelon rind the same way, and I'm going to put that in right in there like so and stir it around. And then to this I'm going to be adding, I have 2 cloves and 2 cinnamon sticks, and then some little shreds that came off But I'm going to be adding that in there. Give that a stir underneath there. Go down in there. Some people don't add the cloves, and some do. I do. And then I'm also going to be adding, this is another ingredient that some people don't add. You can either use vanilla paste or you can use a vanilla bean. If you use a vanilla bean, you'd want to cut it in half and scrape the seeds and all that, but I'm just using paste, and that works pretty well for me, I think. And I'm using 1.5 tablespoons of my vanilla bean paste here. And I'm just going to add that in there like so. And this is going to have to cook for probably at least 2 hours, maybe 3. I will be cooking it until my watermelon rind is translucent or doesn't have any color, kind of clear looking. I want to get all the color out of it, so that's how long I'll cook it. And there, you know for sure how long that'll be. It's going to take a while. I like to get all of that vanilla. I don't like to waste any of that. That's good stuff. Okay, I got that. Now I'm going to stir that around. Like so. And I already have my jars in my pot ready to boil. I have my lids and my rims in my pot ready to boil. And I'm also going to be adding, you don't have to add food coloring. I will probably add just a little bit for color. People tend to like it to have the red color. And then to my jars, before I actually put my jelly in my jars, I will be putting a little piece of cinnamon stick in there. I like to have at least, since I use the small jars, I will be using probably like a half a cinnamon stick to each jar. And I think that it helps flavor it more, but it's, for looks too, makes it look prettier. Okay, and now I'm just going to let that cook, and I will bring you back whenever I get it to the point that I need it at. And after I do this, I've got to make more violet jelly. I'm going to be doing pansy jelly, and I may video that one because I haven't videoed it yet. I'm going to be doing lilac jelly, peony jelly, lavender jelly, hibiscus jelly, lots of different jellies, preserves. I'm probably going to be doing, my husband's wanting me to do strawberry preserves, which you can use frozen strawberries, you can use fresh strawberries, whichever you prefer. I freeze a lot of fruits and have a couple, 2 or 3 big blueberry, I think we've got 3 in all, counting at the other house, blueberry bushes, so I tend to freeze a lot of those and use those to make jelly. And figs, of course, love my fig jelly, or preserves. But I'll bring you back whenever I get this to the point I need it. Well, as you can see, it's not changed very much in this little amount of time, but right back here I've also got my violet jelly going, and I'm going to get that going. I'll bring you back as soon as I get the watermelon rind doing its thing. while I'm waiting for my jelly to do its thing, I wanted to show you what I'm doing now. I am infusing red clover and rose petals. The rose petals I dried myself. The red clover I ordered from Etsy, and I ordered it from Mountain Moss Remedies. You can see the little label on there, and I love her stuff. It came to me packaged in this black, thick, really thick bag, which I love because that, you know, no light to your herbs will make your herbs last longer, and was packaged wonderfully. Got a nice label on here with the scientific name, and she is such a nice lady, and me and her had chatted back a little bit, back and forth, and she is a Christian and just super nice, super helpful. So if you're buying herbs, you might want to check her out. She is on Etsy, and I will put a link to her Etsy page. Just a really nice woman, very nice, and they have a good selection of herbs. But I'm going to be infusing this, and I'm going to make jelly with the red clover and my rose petals, and just make a good jelly out of it. So I thought I would share that with you, and I will probably YouTube this video when I do this. Okay, I just wanted to bring you back and show you how it's starting to look. Yeah, it's starting to change colors and looking just a little bit more translucent, but not where we want it to be. So we just keep cooking, letting it cook on low until it reaches that point where it's clear looking. And I have got my violet, and this violet jelly I actually added vanilla bean, so this is going to be a violet and wild sweet violet and vanilla bean jelly, and I've already got it in the pot water bathing. I'll bring you back when this is completely translucent and ready to put in the jars. Okay, if you can see it, it's translucent, kind of clear looking for the most part. Now the lemon's not, but the rest of it is. So that is almost ready to go in the jars. I'll get my jars ready. Okay, I'm sorry about that. I had a little bit of difficulties with my camera. And I've got my cinnamon stick in there, and now I'm going to fill it. A little more juice. Need to remove another jar. And I have had them in a hot bath. You want to put them in a hot bath for at least 10 minutes to make sure that, you know, you kill all germs. Plus you want a good hot jar for putting that hot jelly in order if you want a good seal. And plus, you know, the heat being on that jar and it not warmed up, that's could even bust the jar. But I like to pre-bath mine. Okay, I'll wipe this one down. And I wanted to get my pansy jelly made today, and I may still do that. I'll just have to see. Okay, I got another cinnamon stick in there. I'll drop him down in there with some pieces. Hopefully my videos are being informative, I hope, so that you make your own. And we should all try to utilize what we have and That cuts down on wasting, and which our watermelon rinds, if we don't make jelly, the chickens really enjoy them. But we enjoy them to make jelly with them, so the chickens are out of luck right now. Get me a lid. But once I get those all filled, I will bring you back and show you what I've done. Okay, well here we are. I got finished with my watermelon rind jelly, and I'm waiting to see if it all seals. Hopefully so. I ended up with quite a few jars. I actually had like, let's see, 12 jars in all, and so I'm really pleased with it. I'm just waiting to see if it will seal. So here you are. This is the way I make my watermelon rind jelly. And you know, if you want to change the recipe, you can change it to your liking. You can leave out the cinnamon, the cloves. You don't have to have those, but it adds flavor, and that's the way that I make it. So here you go, and I will talk to you later on the next video, and have a blessed day, and God bless you.